My hope in doing this movie or video is that it's a living, breathing legacy that our children, our grandchildren, perhaps our great-grandchildren can look at and feel that they know us and feel the joy that's exuded from all of the pictures, the videos, the music. I hope that that's what this gift is to our family.
We wanted to do something like this while we could still remember all these things and
participate.
And we didn't look like we were ready to get into a nursing home or anything. We still have some life in us, so I think it's very important. My wife had sat down with my mother before she died and given at least a legacy, oral legacy, no video or anything. And that was very important to my siblings, and I think important to our kids as well, who our boys in particular cherish their grandmother, and it's just very, very important to pass all of this on that we can. I hope more people have the idea of doing that, because I think it's extremely important for everybody. We didn't meet as early. I first saw my wife in 1972. I was back from Vietnam for a year. My wife was a school teacher full-time and working at a bar at night, a singles bar, which I frequented with friends of mine back here. And I saw her, but certainly I didn't have enough guts to go up and actually talk with her. But I thought, boy, this is somebody I really would like to meet. About a year later, Kathy and her friend went into another bar where I was with some of these same friends who knew her. And so we were introduced at that point. This would have been 1973. And that was sort of the start of things.
I had no idea that Jim even existed when he first saw me, because I was actually engaged to another person. And as serendipity would have it, I became unengaged, went about my life, and went out one night with my friend and met Jim with his friends, and that was the beginning.
So we started dating in the middle of 1973. By October of that year, we were engaged and married in April of 1974. We were married for almost exactly 4 years when we had our first son, Jimmy, who was born in April of 1978. And that was the beginning of our family together. We were extremely delighted to have this little guy. Over the moon, actually. Such a beautiful little baby, such a great young guy.
And 2 years later, almost to the very same day in April, we had Matthew. And having 2 boys has been a delight.
Clearly, when you have your first baby, probably more than when you have your second baby, life changes. Sleep declines, as we all know. New priority, new little voice in the house that takes priority over everything. And really, you get that new sense of responsibility that there's not just two adults here that we have to look out for each other, but everything revolves around these little guys. But that was great. It was actually fun, making sure that we did the best job possible to make sure they were always safe, they were always happy. Growing up, with the skinned knees, making sure they knew that wasn't the end of the world, making sure that they were happy. And if they had questions, we'd always try to answer the questions as honestly as we could. Of course, there were times when they weren't perfect, but it's really hard. Both Kathy and Mom and I were trying to think of any tough issues we had with the boys. We did not. There were challenges along the way in certain areas, but nothing that the boys and we couldn't work out together. And new challenges, but